please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So HBO Max has put out a new prestige show. Sadly, I don't think this is anywhere near the rest of their prestige shows. Yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment, much more of a disappointment because this is one of the few games I've actually played. It's not bad, okay? It's not bad, but it's not very good. I found it very derivative. That's basically it. I didn't see anything new in it at all, and I remember really loving the game. But I will get into a little mini review in this preamble before we get into the review. Okay, that's the plan. Before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment. Can you do all those things? Well, you don't have to do those things, you know. Doing any other things is really nice, you know. So comment, you know, that makes the YouTube algorithms think there's somebody here. I'm not just screaming into the wind, although I am pretty much screaming into the wind. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Subscribing is great, really, genuinely. Thank you very much. It takes one click and it makes me happy, and I just can't work out why, right? It gives me that little dopamine hit that no other social media does. Like, when I get an upvote on Twitter or something, I'm like, yeah, who cares? I get a subscriber, like, oh, God, yes! And it's so pathetic, right? Please take my advice. Do not let your happiness be dependent on external factors. It's a really, really dumb idea. So, but that being said, can you hit the subscribe button? Thank you very much. I'll work through it in my own time, right? If anybody's got a good psychotherapist they can recommend, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe, comment in the video notes, right? Just down here in the videos, you'll find many links. One link will be to my Substack. Substack is my email newsletter. Please sign up for that as well. Also free, and as a Jew, I don't understand why anybody goes, oh, it's free. I got to do it then. You know, why do we not have all-you-can-eat buffets here in Israel? For that reason, Jews can't understand. Well, I paid for it. It's all I can eat. I gotta keep eating till I die. Right? That's all the stereotypes are really true. Okay, I mean, we're not nasty. We're not, but yeah, no, we're bad tippers. That's also true. Okay, I'm here to spill the beans on everything. We don't know where Kanye is. So, nothing to do with that. That wasn't us. As far as I know. Nobody told me in the last Protocols of the Elders of Zion meeting. Anyway, I digress. We're supposed to be talking about The Last of Us. Yes, you'll follow Substack. Okay, fine. We're back on track. In the videos, you'll find my Substack. Can you sign up for that, please? My email newsletter is a paid one. Sign up for that as well. Why? No reason. I really got no reason to give you. Also, there's the Instagram, the Twitter. Oh, follow me on everything, baby. Oh, my God. So good. So good. I mean, your nipples will vibrate with excitement. Yeah, results may vary. That's not medical advice or a guarantee. I want to be very clear, right? Maybe just my nipples will vibrate with excitement. I'm 3 minutes in, and I'm talking about my nipples vibrating. You know this is going to be a good video. Anyway, I digress. The Last of Us, right? I was a bit on the fence about it, and I still am, right? Because I just found it. Here's the thing. When I'm going into anything to review it, I really try and remove all my preconceptions and view it as its own individual thing, right? I think that's fair. Like, you know, I very much like the adaptation of Brave New World from a couple of years ago. Grant Morrison, I think wrote it. It was very, very good. Nobody saw it because they went into it as its own thing, right? I always try and be fair. Same with Strange New Worlds, right? I started off negative towards it because the rest of current Star Trek has been terrible, right? And I went into it viewing it as its own thing, on its own merits, and I found it pretty strong. So I had the same approach with this, and it didn't work out in its favor, right? It did not work out in its favor. The game I thought was excellent. Now I'm not a gamer, right? I am not a gamer at all. I don't like gaming. I played 2 games, I think, 3 games I can think of that I played and enjoyed. That is The Last of Us. Alien Isolation, freaking awesome. And by the way, they keep banging their heads how to try and monetize the Terminator franchise, and they keep making shitty movie after shitty movie after shitty movie, right? I think, having watched this, having played this game and watched this adaptation, I now see the difference in storytelling capability between games and movies, right? And I think if you want to exploit the Terminator franchise, you really need to be doing that in the gaming space more than anything else. But it's got to have an incredibly good story, which The Last of Us had, right? The Last of Us, that game had an incredibly good story. Oh, and also, what's the other one I liked? Portal 2, right? That's not a great story. It was just lots of great logic problems I really kind of enjoyed. But again, I'm not a huge gamer. Genuinely not a huge gamer at all. If you're considering getting a subscription to HBO Max to watch this, I would recommend going and buying the game instead, which is superior to what I saw on the first episode is based on the first few levels of the game. It's superior to what I saw in pretty much every way. You know, the pixelated version of the characters I found more emotive and relatable than the ones that we saw on screen. Even though, look, I like what's his name, Mandalorian. I think he's good. I think he's a douchebag, but I think he's a good actor as well, right? So. Yeah, I think he's good. I like, what's her name, the girl from Game of Thrones. You know, the you thought, well, we don't bend down here in the north. That one, the one who, yeah. I just don't think she was well cast in this, right? I felt, again, the game version of it, she felt more vulnerable, right? Felt more real. Here she just feels like kind of bitchy and cunty, somewhere between the two, right? So it's not bad. It's not bad, but again, viewing it on its own merits, it's I would say a failure. It's derivative. There's nothing I haven't seen in this that I haven't seen many times before, which is really tragic because the game was really groundbreaking for me, right? It really genuinely was. It's a great story. See, here's the thing: the gaming space in storytelling, you don't really get good stories in games often, right? But when you get good storytelling, it unfolds like a novel. You kind of get get inside the characters and go with their relationships and the layers and the layers on layers. So that might happen in this. It just doesn't seem like it's happening yet. They got the biggest difference in the game is they put Anna Tove in it, the woman from Fringe. I like Fringe a lot, by the way. I kind of miss Fringe, so nice to see her again. Yeah, look. Well made, good cast, interesting idea. It's just I've seen it all before, right? I've really seen it all before, and it seems to me just to be a standard zombie show, which is okay. We got a standard zombie show, yay! You know, so it's not a recommend. It really isn't a recommend, but it's not terrible. It's just not a recommend. You check it out. Let me know what you think, right? Let me know what you think. Hopefully. It's not a question of it improving. I just got to see something that excites me, and so far, haven't seen it. Fine! As I said, like, share, subscribe, all those things are very good. We went into that in quite some detail, didn't I? Yes, I was talking about my nipples vibrating. Fine, now let's go into the in-depth review. I'm recording this on January the 18th. That's a Wednesday. Hoping to get it out today as well, right? Recording January the 18th. This is from a live stream I did last night, which will be January the 17th. So let me hand over to me from last night. But it starts off in 1968, right? Which I thought was a nice way to start. And it's this talk show talking about what will end the world. And it's a clever way of, I can't remember this name of this actor, who I thought was going to be Doctor Who, Nesbitt, whatever his name is. He's saying, well, much more deadly than viruses is fungi, right? There are fungi that can take control of what's it? I've still got the image in my head of a rabbi playing Last for Us for the first time and just thinking it's a modern day retelling of Super Mario Brothers. Well, hey, Luigi. That's good about it. So anyway, yeah, no, this is one of the games I enjoyed. Fine. So anyway, he got whatever this guy's name is, right? He says that the funguses that can take control of like insects and make them move them around and control them completely so they can feed off other insects. So now this can't happen in humanity because fungus can't survive in the body in the heat of a body. But who knows what could happen if the temperature of the world increases? Maybe a fungus will mutate. Who knows? Dun dun dun. And then we have the titles, right? And lots of very funky titles, right? Then it's 2003. Okay, this is exactly the opening level of the game as I remember it. Other than the people in it aren't quite as good as the computer models, right? Which I thought found much better. So this girl wakes up and she's with her father, who looks a lot like Lee Majors to me now. And they love each other very much. Yeah, right. And his brother shows up, and they're contractors, combat veteran from Desert Storm. And off they go on September the 26th, which is obviously going to be an important day, right? She's in school. It was just a normal every day. But I like the bit of George Bush in there to set the date for you, right? And then after school, she goes and picks her. She's just the most lovely person in the universe. Everybody loves her. She's going to the old neighbors afterwards because they all want her. Everybody loves her, right? So she goes to this watchmaker. She's getting her father's watch fixed. But his wife comes in and just get her out of here. Shit is going down, baby. Shit is going down. And she's like, here's planes in the distance. And like, what the hell's going on? So she goes to visit her old infirm neighbor and says, have you seen the news? Said, oh, no, we don't watch the news. And they said they're making cookies. She does her homework. And, the old woman can't move or do anything because she's an old infirm woman. And then the good little horror bit in the background here. And she suddenly becomes infected. Blah, 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 blah. It's like jittering. And then, she's... Something's up with her, as the dog knows. The dog is like, what the hell? There's something wrong with that, right? Like the dog. I think the dog's somewhat CGI because it doesn't strike me as being real, but okay. But it's a nice, spooky beginning. There's like planes flying overhead. Something's going down. Although none of them think to turn on the fucking news, the morons, right? No, they won't do that. He gives him his birthday present, and he forgets to get his cake, and doesn't matter, gets the present anyway. And he got a watch fix, and she also got this movie. They're going to watch it together, and they fall asleep. And then he gets a call later. His brother's in jail, and he's become bailed out. Some guy went crazy at a bar, and he defended her. Clearly, it's going to tie into what's going on. He's like, fine, I'll go. So she goes off she's in bed at 11. And then many hours later, it's like 2:18 in the morning, right? She wakes up. There's explosions going on. Things are weird. She goes to check the TV. This is not good. National Alert Primary Entry Point System issued an emergency action notification. Maybe tell people what's going on, right? That she finds the dog. The dog's freaked out. Like, and she tries to take the dog back. And he's like, no, fuck off. I'm not going there. So in she walks. And again... It just feels like I've seen it so many times before at this point. She walks in, there's blood on the floor, and the guy's being eaten. It's like, and the old lady is busy eating her daughter, I believe. She looks up, and in the game they were more interesting because they are much more fungi. Like they look more. These just look like zombies to me, right? And they move like zombies, and they are very zombie-ish. I'm like, well, okay then. I mean, at least they're fast zombies, unlike The Walking Dead. She's like, fuck, run away. And she wants to eat him. And Jess and her father arrives. And first kill using the spanner. Again, much like the game, right? So now they're driving. We got to get out of town. Shit's going down. Their house is on fire. Somebody knows the house is on fire. Everywhere they go is blocked off. They end up in the middle of town. Oh, this is a cool bit, right? A plane just crashes in the middle of nowhere. Oh, no, in the middle of the street. And they black out. They wake up. And shit is going down, right? And so they're like, we got to run. She can't walk. He carries her. And they find a bunch of these people like feasting on the zombie people, feasting on the dead. And one of them chases them. And then gets shot by a soldier. Just wait there. And he gets his orders. He's like, look, I'm sorry, man. He's got to shoot him. So he rushes him. And just before he's shot, his brother shows up and shoots him. But shots were fired. He's been hit. Oh, no. And now, but his daughter's also dead. No motivation! Yeah, okay, fine. Again, it was better in the game. 20 years later, so now it's 2023. Virtually indistinguishable. So this kid is wandering around in Boston 2023. Things have not worked out well in the last 23 years. It's not the last 20 years. Things have not been good. So this kid wanders in. They're like, help, get the kid in. They bring him in. And because of the security procedures, they took time to full inspection. If infecting wound is located on head, it is 5 to 15 minutes. Torso, 2 to 4 hours. Or leg and foot, 12 to 24 hours. Report cordyceps to authorities immediately. I know. Report signs of cordyceps infection, coughing, slurred speech, muscle spasms, mood change. Safety begins with you, Fedra. So this is the first indication this is not a democracy, right? This is not good. So they ask the kid where he's from. They scan him, dunk, and he gets a red scan. Like, so it's not everything. We're just going to give you some medicine. Everything's fine. And then cut to these people burning bodies. And more bodies show up. It's just, I can't move that one. He's like, can you do it? I said, okay, I'm the bloke. And there's the body. It's the kid, right? Oh, man. They just killed the kid. Clearly, he had some kind of infection going on. He gets paid in, like, whatever chits they have. And you get to see a little bit of what life is like. Again, this all seems very post-apocalyptic post-zombie apocalyptic to me. Been here before, right? And the game was so much more engaging than this. A bunch of people are being hung for going out. There's these people called the Fireflies, who are like the resistance. And he goes to meet this guard. And he gets a bunch of these like money, whatever these money chits are. And he'll be 5 short, so he gives them some cigarettes, right? It's like, yeah, whatever. And he's got these pills he's selling him. He said, yeah, but cool bit is, yeah, but I need the bag, right? I need the bag back. So he's like, okay, he sells the pills. Meanwhile, cut over to here. There's this weird confrontation going around. This guy has apparently double sold a car battery, which this woman needs. And they tried to kill her, but failed. And she's like, well, now I got to kill you. Otherwise, your husband's going, or your boyfriend or whatever, your guy's going to kill me. So no, I'll just tell him that I got jumped by strangers. It's okay. Can we just move on from this, right? It's like, she's basically talking her way out of it. Like whatever. It happens. You stole it from us. It's okay. This game is all about this car battery. It's very obviously a plot device move forward. And all of a sudden, boom, right? The wall blows up. One of the guys are dead, and the other, and she staggers out and trying to find out what's going on. There's a bunch of police coming that way. So she runs and hides, and a bunch of police coming that way, and she's arrested. No, I'm not a firefly, she says. I'm not a firefly. Meanwhile, we meet character number 2, and yeah, she's chained up over here, and yeah, she was much better in Game of Thrones. I think she was just, in the game, it was a much more sympathy, like instantly I kind of like this character more. They kind of play her like a bit of a pain in the ass cunt to me. So I'm not really a big fan. So they come in, they're checking her to see if she's not infected, and she's like, oh, she's been there for days. And you keep seeing these signs written there. When you're lost in the darkness, look to the light. That's the call sign of the Fireflies. So meanwhile, everyone's writing these messages and lining up, and he just barges through the front of the line because he's the man. Everybody knows him. Again, it all just seems so. The more I'm saying this, I'm like saying I haven't seen an original thing yet. It's not bad. It's fine, but I don't think I would pay for watch this again. Because it seems like same shit I've seen 100 times before. So this guy sends messages, and he's his friend. He gives him the cigarettes, and he's like, he's waiting for a word back from his brother. His brother hasn't said anything for the last few days. Been missing for 3 weeks, so he's very upset. He goes home. He gets a guy to show him where his brother must be. It's like he's at this tower. He's like, but it's in Wyoming. It's so far away. Gets him to show him where it is, and he goes home and he starts trying to work out. He has his own secret map. How to get there. And he drinks himself into oblivion. Take some of the Oxycontin or whatever the hell it is. Drink some more. He's still got the watch, but now it's broken, and he won't get rid of that watch, and he falls asleep unconscious. Later that day, by the way, the woman, that woman who we're going to see is Antov. If you recognize her, she's from Fringe, right? She was great in Fringe. So he wakes up the next day, and she tells him about the battery and says, "Oh, somebody jumped me." He's like, "Oh man!" And so they what they're going to do? They decide they're going to go and steal it back, or that and steal that back and the money. Meanwhile, over at the place where the girl's being held, this woman walks in who's clearly in charge, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And so this person said, "What are you doing with this girl? We have no idea." She tells the other people, get out. and there's some super secret about the girl, which I know, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a kind of obvious super secret about the girl. I mean, really? So they find out where he's hiding, and she's trying to break out all the time. And she comes along and says, okay, we're going to let you out, and you're coming with us because there's a super secret we have to tell you about you. Super, super secret. I guess I won't tell you until the show tells you, because I do it as a show. But again, I would have worked this out already, right, what the super secret is. Meanwhile, they going in via the subway to try. This is actually quite good. They go in via the subway to try and get their thing back, and she's like freaked out when she sees this fungus. And it's really quite here. Let me zoom in. Like, it's really quite beautiful, right? And like this was all that's left of a person, right, after they've been taken over, and it's great, and it's it's disturbing and beautiful at the same time. I think this is all quite good, but maybe you want to stay away from that fungus, as it can take over and kill you, right? Maybe you want to keep your distance from it. Don't breathe in too much. They get to the top, and there's they can't open the door because there's blood coming from the door, and they see it's already been raided. The battery's useless. He's been killed, and they hear a scuffle going on. And he goes to check it out for some reason, and this girl jumps out and attacks him. He's got a knife, kind of similar to I think kind of similar to the knife his daughter had. And she's like, don't point a gun at the girl. So essentially, they make a deal at this point. Get the girl to where she needs to go, and we'll get you everything you need, battery, whatever, because she knows about her brother, and you'll be able to go and find him, right? And she says, I don't want to go with them. You're going with them. You're going with them. Right, so goes back to his house, and he's got a radio there, and she sees a code. If he hears a song from the 60s, nothing's in. If it's 70s, they got new stock. And from the 80s, X. What does 80s mean? I don't know. So anyway, he says, we got to wait until we can go. So he goes to sleep. Then he wakes up, and they talk for a little bit. You can see them. The rapport's not really there. That's the thing. You can tell in the game they had that rapport there. I don't know how they did it, but the rapport isn't really there as yet. She says she's never been out of the gate, out the city. And she said, "Oh, while you're sleeping, it started playing a song." She said, "What song?" Oh, and she says about an 80s song. And he's like, I said, oh, that means 80s songs are bad, emergency. And she's figured out the code, and there wasn't really a song. So anyway, it's time to get out, right? And they show how well guarded it is, and you're going to get hung if you get out. So they sneak out, avoiding the patrols. But then they come across a guard taking a leak, and he grabs the gun and gets it off of them. And it turns out to be the one who bought the Oxycontin or whatever it was. And he's like, no, I told you stay, not to go out anywhere. You're a schmuck for doing that. So he scans each of them. But when the girl scans her, she stabs him, right? And he's like, no, don't do it. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it. And he flashes back with his daughter, and he goes crazy and beats the person to death. A good superpower to have, right? She's like, fuck me, that kind of turns me on. I don't know if that's really what is said in the script, but that's certainly how she's playing it. That's like, that kind of turns me on. And then she's like, oh no, look, her scan was red. She's infected. Look. And then you find out there's something weird about her because she was infected a while ago, and she's still alive. There's something, though, that must be her secret, that she can survive infection, right? She'll fight off the infection. It's like, well, that's weird. And off they go, right? Out from the Federal Disaster Response Agency, which again, they're there's no democracy or due process. They just it's a whole there's all that's left of government. Biological contamination area. Do not proceed. Meanwhile, at his apartment, an 80s song comes on. Danger, Will Robertson. And off they go into Boston, right? Man, it sounded a lot more boring when I did the recap, right? The fungus person reminds you of Annihilation. Annihilation is far more interesting than this. Yeah, I don't know. Look, people don't hate it. I probably will continue to cover it. I'm just not sure this is worth a subscription to HBO Max. I really don't think it is, right? I really don't think it is. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.